and welcome back to FiddleUP. I'm Emerald Ray, and today we're going to be working on a tune called Johnny Will You Die? I don't know the story behind this tune, but somebody was ticked off at Johnny, that's for sure. It's just such a funny name for tune. So yeah, but there's a lot of tune with funny names like this. So, you just got to appreciate them when you see them. So this is an Irish tune, and it's not usually in this key. It's in some other key, and I don't know what key that is, actually. I love it so much in this key. I think I've heard it in the other key, but it has never stuck in my head because I don't want to change it. I like this key better. So this isn't a terribly common tune. It's definitely not necessarily a core repertoire tune, but it's such a good one, and I just want to spread it around. It's such a great one. So we'll do this one for today. And so we're in E minor and G. And we're going to start off with a big fat triplet here. So get ready. So you can also roll through that. If you don't want to do the triplet, I'll show you how to do both. And so if you're going to do a triplet, that's down, up, down, down, up, down, then you'll play this. So you get the pickup here, the B and D on the A string, pick up to the open E. And that's your first finger on the A string, your B. So there we go. So now let's try it with a roll. So you'll see how that roll is happening on the up bow there. And there's a video on how to do the roll as well, if you want to check that out, in the ornamentation section. So da 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 da, something in there. Da 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 da. So the next phrase is. So those two phrases together sound like this. There we go, one more time. So that's just a G on the D string, and then A, B, D. And then the next phrase is. So very similar to the first phrase, but just slightly different with the E, B, D, B at the end. Or again, you could triplet instead of roll there. Roll there. I don't know why that was so hard to say. You could do that as well. So here's phrase 3. And the next phrase is. Or you could play. Yeah, I think that's probably a little bit normal there. But you could interchange it for, and you tend to do little variations here, but we'll stick with the double G there. So we have, so far, let's go over everything that we have. We have 2 distinct phrases here, and then we'll be doing some repeating in the second part, so it won't be too much. There we go. Want to try that again? And then the next phrase is very similar to the first part. Right? Da, 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 da. And then we'll go down to a G here. And then pop back up to the B for the triplet. So just outlining a G major chord here. G, B, 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 G, B, D, B. So that last little bar is. So that's open A, down to the G, A, B, G, B, D. So those two last little bits together sound like this. There we go. So that's actually the whole A part. Let's just do it all together very slow a couple of times. And then we'll head up to the B part. So that is all. It's nice and simple. We've got some little call and response phrases there. Sometimes they refer to that as question and answer, and I'll refresh your memory on how that works. So first we have the first question. Answer one. And then question again. And then answer two. And so that is how some people like to to think about the tunes, to kind of remember how they go, because it can be a lot of repetitive question things. So if you think about it as question, answer one, question, answer two, sometimes that's helpful for people. If that's not helpful, then go ahead and throw it out. It's not, you just want to keep only the information in your head that's useful to you. So let's go right into the B part here. And this one's nice and easy because we've already learned some of it. So we have up at the top here. And we're just going to go for that whole part because it's actually not that hard. So we have G, F sharp, E, G, F sharp, G, and then E, D, B. And then back up to the G. So that's G, F sharp, G, open E, snap up to the A, and down to the F sharp. One more time. And then the second phrase is exactly the same as the first. Except we're going down this time. This is answer 2. And so I think that's very, very similar, if not exactly identical to the A part, but actually, I think we need to get up to the G. So maybe we'll change it just a little bit. So that's open A to the B, and then down to the G on the D string. Open A, B, and then we're just going to outline a G major chord here. G, B, D. Right? And then we'll head up to the next part. So let's just do those 4 bars that we have so far. So we have one more time. And then continuing on to the second half, we have and then we have the last little phrase here is different. This will be the question 2. So that's you already know half of that. All we have to learn is. And isn't that pretty? So we're going to start off on your G on the E string. Snap up to the B, 4th finger. Down to the A and the G. Open E. And then D, B. Try that again. There we go. So, all right, we have made it through the entire B part here. Let's just take the second half here so we make sure we're gluing these pieces all together. So the second half sounds like this. All right, so we have the whole thing. So let's go with the question and answer thing again and see if that helps. So starting from the first question. Answer 1. Question again. Question 2. All right, so let's try that a little bit slower, and we'll try this twice through with repeat. right, yee-hoo! So we have made it through the whole tune here. Let's go ahead and start at the A part and do the whole tune slow. So the A part goes. And the B part goes. Okay, so let's give that a try. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, there we go. So that is Johnny Will You Die. And so to take this tune up to the next level, I'm actually cheating a bit here. This is an Irish tune, but I am definitely playing this with a bit of Cape Breton flavor, and I'll explain that for sure. This is exactly like the type of Irish tune that Cape Bretoners would pick up. It's actually not played in Cape Breton as far as I know. Maybe somebody can correct me on that one. It should be. It's kind of a perfect Irish tune for Cape Breton players. It just has a very similar vibe and feel to Cape Breton music. So I'm struggling to stop myself from putting some warbles on those G's. That B part. Doing those. That's a very Cape Breton sound. So that's popping out to me is that Cape Breton thing just bursting out of there. And if somebody who knew what they were listening to was listening to my playing, a Cape Breton player would say that I was sounding very Irish, and an Irish player would say I was sounding very Cape Breton. So that happens a lot. But don't worry about it. I would say go ahead and mix things up. You don't have to worry about these things too much, unless you're in a situation where you're like competing at the floor, or you're going to be in a Scottish fiddle competition or something like that. There's no real reason to avoid, mixing up the ornamentation. It's all kind of the same thing, but just in slightly different places. So unless you're really trying to get Irish music down, like you're really trying to get good specifically at Irish music, then don't listen to people like me. No, I'm just kidding. Kind of half kidding there. I mean, if you really want to sound exactly like a strictly Irish player, then somebody like me who's sort of tap dancing between all the things is probably you know, maybe gonna confuse things. You know, that's just being honest. So, but for those of you who enjoy being confused, I'll go through a little bit of what I'm doing here. So, like I was saying, I'm going back and forth between doing these rolls and the triplets. Other than that, I'm playing it mostly Irish-ish. All that is me doing some pretty rolls on my my B there. And then I'm doing some, when I'm not doing a roll, I'm doing a little double trill. I'm kind of adding a little strike trill kind of thing on my third finger there. But that's kind of it. I'm kind of just doing those three things. It's not overly full. You really don't have to add much to make this sound full. So that's the roll, trill on the third finger, you know, it's just kind of the same thing there. So really just the roll in that little trill is mostly it. I mean, that's kind of all you need, really. You don't really need everything. Although if you want to do a kitchen sink and go too far and see what's too much and then bring it back, you can do that. Again, the bowing's kind of random. I'm not really thinking about the bowing too much. I'm just trying to support what's happening there with those triplets. And we've talked about the bowing. So you're gonna go down, big up slur. And I'm kind of slurring up to do those trills as well, so it has a nice smooth surface. So not a ton of stuff with the bowing. And then there's a little bit more happening on the B part. So I'm doing kind of a deconstructed roll there. I mean, it's technically just a trill. Just hitting a third finger trill on that G. And then just playing the notes of the tune, but it kind of functions as a little bit of a roll. It feels like a roll in your hand, if that makes more sense. So you could just add that everywhere, and then, you know, that is definitely a good place to start. It sounds very Irish. So what I was doing there is, so that's two trills there. So just adding two little trills makes it sound very Irish. So there's a third finger trill there. So you see, it really doesn't take much. And then continuing on. So that's what you're going to do if you want it to sound very Irish. If you wanted to add in a Cape Breton flavor, we could do the warbles on that G, which is such a Cape Breton thing to do. See, it's a totally different flavor. So I'm doing that warble, which you can check that, how to do a warble in the ornamentation section. It's just a da-da-da with your G and F sharp there. And you get extra bonus points for doing the warble and pulling that first finger on your A string as well, so you get a G chord. So there you go. There are some ideas. I hope you enjoy this tune. I hope you play it everywhere. I hope we play it together sometime. And I will see you in the next video.